The first thing you should know about my daughter-in-law is that she has a smile that never quite reaches her eyes. Her name is Cassandra. She came into our family 3 summers ago on a bright June afternoon wearing a lace dress and a look of perfect composure. My son Daniel couldn't stop staring at her like she was the only star in the sky, and I'll admit I truly tried to see her the same way. But some smiles are rehearsed, and some kindness is performance. The barbecue was Daniel's idea. "It'll be good for everyone to relax," he'd said over the phone earlier that week. "Mom, just come and enjoy yourself, no stress." It was hosted in the backyard of their new suburban home, a house with white siding, trimmed hedges, and a patio set that probably cost more than my first car. I arrived early, carrying a glass bowl of homemade potato salad, the same recipe I'd made for every family gathering since Daniel was 5. Cassandra greeted me at the gate. "Oh," she said, glancing at the bowl in my hands, "you actually brought something." Her tone was light, playful. But her eyes flickered. "I always do," I replied gently. She leaned in to kiss my cheek. "That's sweet." "Sweet." I swallowed the word like a dry cracker. The yard slowly filled with people, Daniel's colleagues from the marketing firm, a few neighbors, Cassandra's yoga friends with their sun hats and filtered water bottles. Laughter rose into the summer air along with the scent of grilled meat and citronella candles. I tried to stay useful. I arranged napkins, refilled the lemonade pitcher, offered to help with the grill. Each time, Cassandra waved me off with a bright, brittle smile. "We've got it handled," she said loudly once, glancing at her friends. "My mother-in-law still thinks this is 1985. There was a ripple of laughter. I forced a small smile. It wasn't the first time she'd done it. The little comments, the subtle digs disguised as jokes, the way she'd correct my grammar mid-sentence or explain technology to me as if I'd just emerged from a cave. Daniel never seemed to notice. Or maybe he didn't want to. I was standing near the dessert table when it happened. Cassandra picked up the glass bowl of potato salad. "Oh my God," she called out to the yard, "you guys have to hear this." Conversations quieted slightly. "My mother-in-law insists on bringing this vintage dish to every gathering. It's like culinary nostalgia nobody asked for." A few polite chuckles. I felt my fingers tighten around my paper plate. She continued, "I told her we usually cater now, but she says a real hostess cooks." She mimicked my voice. Exaggerated it. Laughter grew louder. Heat crawled up my neck. "I mean," she added with a shrug, "it's cute, in a retro way." Retro. Like I was an outdated appliance she hadn't figured out how to throw away yet. I looked around the yard. Some people avoided my gaze, some smiled awkwardly. One of the neighbors looked genuinely uncomfortable. Daniel was by the grill, tongs in hand. He laughed. Not loudly. But he laughed. And that hurt more than anything. Cassandra set the bowl down dramatically. "Don't worry, if nobody eats it, we'll send it home with her." More laughter. Something inside me, something that had been bending for 3 years, finally stopped bending. It didn't snap. It straightened. I stepped forward. "Cassandra," I said calmly. The yard quieted just a little. She turned, eyebrows lifted in mock innocence. "Yes. I'm so glad you brought that up." Her smile faltered just slightly. "You see," I continued, my voice steady, "this vintage recipe fed your husband through 22 years of life. It was on the table the night he got into college, the night he lost his first job, the night his father passed away." The yard grew still. Daniel's tongues lowered slowly. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't tremble. "I don't bring it because I think catering is wrong," I said. "I bring it because food can carry memory, and I thought perhaps in a family that still mattered." No one laughed now. Cassandra's lips parted but no words came. I continued gently, "But you're right about one thing, times change, traditions evolve, and maybe it's time I stop bringing something that isn't wanted." The silence was thick enough to feel. I turned toward Daniel. "I never meant to embarrass you, son." His face had gone pale. "You didn't," he said quietly. For the first time that afternoon, he wasn't smiling. One of the neighbors, a tall man with silver hair, cleared his throat. Actually, he said, stepping forward, I tried that potato salad earlier, it's the best thing here. A few murmurs of agreement followed. Cassandra's friend, the one in the wide-brimmed hat, nodded awkwardly. It's really good. Someone else added, recipe like that shouldn't be lost. The yard had shifted. The laughter had nowhere to land. Cassandra forced a smile. Oh, come on, I was just joking. I met her eyes. I know, I said softly, that's the problem. Daniel walked over then. He didn't look at Cassandra. He looked at me. Mom, he said, his voice tight, I'm sorry. In 3 years, I had never heard him say that in her presence. Cassandra let out a small, sharp breath. Are you serious right now? He turned to her. You didn't have to do that. It was a joke, she repeated, but her voice lacked its earlier sparkle. A joke supposed to make everyone laugh, he said quietly, not just the person telling it. The yard was utterly silent now. Even the grill seemed to have stopped sizzling. Cassandra's cheeks flushed pink. For a moment I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. I picked up my purse from the patio chair. I think I'll head home, I said calmly. No, Daniel said quickly, please stay. I looked at him. Really looked at him. He wasn't the boy clutching a soccer trophy or the teenager slamming bedroom doors. He was a man standing at the edge of a choice. Only if we're done turning family into entertainment, I said gently. Cassandra looked down. She didn't apologize immediately. But something in her posture shifted. The performance mask slipped. Mrs. Whitmore, she said after a long pause, her voice quieter than I'd ever heard it, I didn't mean to hurt you. I studied her face. For once her eyes matched her smile. I believe you, I replied, but impact matters more than intention. No one spoke. Then the silver-haired neighbor clapped his hands once, breaking the tension. All right, who's ready for seconds? A few nervous laughs fluttered through the yard. The spell broke. People moved again. Plates were refilled. Conversations resumed, softer this time. Daniel hugged me. Not the quick, distracted kind. A real one. I should have said something sooner, he whispered. Yes, I agreed gently, you should have. Later, as the sun dipped low and the fairy lights flickered on, I found myself seated at the patio table. Cassandra approached slowly, holding 2 cups of iced tea. She handed one to me. Can I sit? I nodded. For a moment, we watched the others laugh by the grill. I always feel like I have to impress everyone, she said quietly. Your traditions, they make me feel like I'm competing with something I can't match. I considered that. I'm not your competition, I said. I'm your ally, or I could be. She blinked rapidly. I didn't grow up the way Daniel did, she admitted. Everything feels like a test. Family isn't a test, I said softly. It's a place you're allowed to fail and still be loved. She looked down at her hands. I'm sorry, she whispered. This time it wasn't for the audience. It was just for me. And somehow, that mattered more than silencing the yard ever could. Because humiliation echoes loudly. But Grace lingers. And as I watched my son laughing again, this time with awareness in his eyes, I realized something important. I hadn't been silenced that afternoon. I had been heard. And sometimes that's louder than any joke.